There's a version of love that sounds like, I'm here for you. And there's a version of love that sounds like, you're so hot you pop. I don't think one is better than the other. Love can make us silly, and that's awesome. Let's see where the studio takes us.
Hi, I'm Holly. Welcome to Seeds in Starlight Studio, where we plant creative seeds to grow our glimmers.
When I think of popcorn, I think of carnival food. I think of movie theater food. It seems to show up right before something exciting is about to happen. I've never heard anybody eat popcorn quietly. Definitely not at a serious table, doing serious things. You eat it in the dark, waiting for the previews to end. You eat it in line for a ride that might make you scream a little. Love doesn't only look like the quiet, steady kind. The kind you see in cursive writing on a lot of cards. Sometimes it looks like an inside joke nobody else gets. Sometimes it looks like standing in a carnival line just to be next to that certain someone. And that's what this card is about. Not just the pun. The feeling underneath the pun, the feeling of, I like you enough to be a little embarrassing about it. So Hot You Pop isn't subtle, and it's not trying to be. Make your love known loud and clear, whether you want it to be a serious moment or a fun one. I think every relationship needs a little bit of both, don't you? And here's what's cool about this message. It doesn't care who you're giving it to. Your partner, your best friend, your significant other. It doesn't matter. The way you scream on a roller coaster with your best friend isn't necessarily that different from the way you scream on one with the person you're dating. Same rush, same, oh my gosh, did you see that? Same wanting them right next to you when it happens. I think we save the deep cards for the big moments and forget that love also just wants to have a little fun. It's okay to be a little ridiculous on a random Tuesday and to tell someone you are thinking of them just because. So yeah, sometimes love needs to be a quiet devotion, but sometimes we need love to just say, you know what, you're a snack. I like to say that when we write things, I said this in a previous video, that when I write things, I can speak more eloquently and dig down deep for the precious words that I may not think to say, but when I can write them and really think about it, that's when it comes to me. So yes, the messages can be deep, but they can also be joyful. Somewhere along the way, it seems like the world started treating joy like it needed permission, but joy deserves a spot in the pile, whether it's a card, whether it's a journal entry, whether it's a conversation. Joy is just as real as any other emotion, just like our light is just as real as our shadows. And that is the whole point of this studio. Not just giving you a place to calm the chaos, but a place to help you capture the joyful moments as well. Something that's so important in life is just to remember to show up for the people that you love and tell them that you see them and that it's okay to be ridiculous. And it's those weird little quirks that make us all individual human beings that are all pretty awesome. Giving someone comfort doesn't only look like giving them a box of tissues and quiet company. Sometimes comfort is holding someone's hand while you go around the loop on the roller coaster. I don't know about you, but I keep a lot of things that people might think I have no reason to keep. The fancy thing to say is to just call it ephemera. It's those ticket stubs, those receipts, those wrappers, the wristbands. Are those things important? Not necessarily, but that's kind of the point of this whole journey. I mean, it's ultimately trash, right? For most people. No one's going to hand you a movie ticket stub for that Twilight movie that you saw, saying, you're going to want to keep that. But what I like to hold on to them for is when I forget about them and I go back through a pile of scraps or I go back through an old journal and I see it, I'm not thinking, oh yeah, I remember when I saw Twilight. I'm thinking about the ladies that I worked with that all read the books together, and then we were very excited to all go see the movie together, and we even went to the midnight showing of the second movie. I'm also thinking of all of the marathons I went to with my brother, where we watched all 5 movies in one day. Some of those memories are versions of my life that I don't live in anymore, so it's nice to be able to go back and feel that sense of nostalgia. Sometimes it might be memories you're grieving, but it still gives you something to physically look at and physically touch. And not everything has to be profound. Not everything has to have a big lesson attached to it. Sometimes it's just the scrap of a good afternoon, and that's reason enough for it to be remembered. It speaks to that popular saying that we measure our life in moments, and it's the small moments that matter, and it's the small moments that make the big moments. And it's those little moments that can help ground us and bring us back to a sense of joy, or at least a sense of peace. Sometimes we just want to remember the good times, or the person, or a time in our lives where things were easier, or maybe they were harder, and it reminds us of how much stronger we are because of it. Whatever way we calm our noise, even if it's just for a moment. This is what the world of joyful junk can bring. And that is my glimmer today. The realization that not every glimmer has to be quiet or has to come from a moment of solace. Sometimes they come from being loud and a little ridiculous. And maybe it even tastes like a cheddar and caramel popcorn mix. I hope you find a glimmer today, and I hope that you decide that sometimes that light, silly stuff has a place. See you later.